All right, guys, we are headed to my hunting lease, hunting club, my property where I hunt, whatever you want to call it. We're headed to Boone County. I've got my kiddo with me, so you may hear her in the background. Right now we just come down Loudon Heights Road. The way we're going today, the way I like to go is from my house. I like to travel through Kanawha State Forest, across the mountain. It comes out at Hernshaw. At Hernshaw, I get on Route 94 and head across the mountain to, what is that? Blooming Rose or Comfort in Boone County, where you pick up Route 3, and then Route 3 takes me to Printer Road. You'll see all of that. I'm just giving you a heads up of what we're doing. Now, this is being filmed January 12th. So the most of the storm has already passed. It stopped snowing yesterday or the day before. As you can see, the roads are clear, but there's still, you know, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow on the ground, depending on where you're at. So we're coming up to, well, you'll see the entrance to Kanawha State Forest here shortly. I just wanted to start filming early. I was just going to film from Kanawha State Forest, but my kiddo told me it'd be a better idea to start filming now so you guys can see all of this. So this is what you call Loudondale, and we're going to be in Kanawha State Forest before you know it. Right here on the left, there used to be a really, really nice house, and the way I believe I remembered it, there was a flood. The flood ruined the house. They tore it down. It's my understanding that FEMA paid for everything, and then I believe the way it works is in West Virginia, once FEMA pays out for a house, the property can never have a house put back on it due to the flood plain and flood insurance and all that stuff. Right here on the right, if you can see, I can't see if you can tell, all that green stuff is bamboo. Somebody planted bamboo, and that stuff grows like crazy. Bamboo is actually a grass, so it grows like grass. It will grow through cement, it will grow through cinder block, pavement, dirt, obviously. It's even been said that it will grow through like people's basements and houses. So you should never plant bamboo unless you put it in like a metal barrier in the ground. On the left here, there used to be a really old log cabin. I'm assuming that it was taken down in the flood too. Now this was many years ago, so I don't remember all the details, but the cabin hasn't been there for a really long time. It was like an old like Civil War aged cabin. It had been there since like the 1800s. There used to be a sign up there talking about it. I don't know if the sign's still there or not. I have no idea what the roads are going to be like going through the forest. Right now, obviously the roads are clear here. We're in two-wheel drive. We're in my truck. My truck will go really, really well in snow. It doesn't go so great in mud, and then obviously nothing goes good in ice without chains. So we shouldn't have any problems getting across the mountain. It's 32 degrees outside right now according to my truck, so it shouldn't be frozen, but we'll see. It's always great when somebody's sitting in the middle of the road. It's not a really good idea to do. All right, we are going in Kanawha State Forest, and immediately the roads look a whole lot worse. So we're going to take it easy going over here. If I have to put it in four-wheel drive, I will. It looks like maybe they've scraped the road at one point, but they didn't salt it because it is not clear at all. Now right here on the left is where the lake used to be. They actually knocked the dam down, and the lake is not a lake, it was a pond. but it is no longer there. Now it's just a stream that runs through it. They do stock it with trout. Most of the year, the only people that can fish it are children or people with a Q designation on their license, which Q is for, I believe, elderly and handicapped. I am neither of those, so I cannot fish it most of the year. But my kid can. I'm gonna try to get her on a trout this year. Oh, this road is... I kind of assumed that the road was going to be a little bit nasty. There's an awful lot of trees over here, so there didn't get a whole lot of sunlight on this road. If we start spinning, I'll put it in four-wheel drive, but otherwise I'm going to see what it does without it. A lot of people may not know this, but you can actually hunt in Kanawha State Forest. Now, there's no open big game seasons right now. Well, actually, I think the West Virginia has a heritage season. I think it ends today. The heritage season, you have to use like an old flintlock musket, black powder rifle, or a traditional bow, which would be a not a compound, like a recurve bow. So you could hunt the traditional system up to today in West Virginia, which the weird thing is, it counts towards your 2024 bag limit. So like if you killed 2 bear last year, in West Virginia you can kill 1 bear statewide, but certain counties you can kill 2. So let's say you killed 2 bear last year, that means you can't kill a bear in the traditional season because it counts towards your 2024 bag limit, but you have to buy a license for 2025 in order to hunt. I think that's one of the weird things with our license system. There's other weird things, but that's one of the weird ones. But anyways, other than that, you can hunt Kanawha State Forest. Any large game if it's in season, deer, bear. Well, really deer and bear are the only 2 large game you're going to find over here. And then obviously any small game season. We still have like rabbit season, squirrel season, all of that stuff is still open until February. I can't remember exactly when squirrel season, or rabbit season rather, goes out, but I know squirrel season goes through February. I have no idea where the road's at, so we're going to have to just guess and just make sure we don't hit people. I am going to put this in 4-wheel drive just in case we have to pass somebody again like that. That one wasn't bad, but when you get further up here, the road gets really, really narrow, and I don't want to put my truck in a ditch and not be able to get out. Typically when I come through here like right after daylight or right before dark, I see deer quite often. I don't usually see big bucks. I do occasionally see a small buck, and I usually see a whole lot of does. I've never seen a bear driving through the forest. I know they're here, but I personally have never seen one. See, I got to get over, and I don't want to be in 2-wheel drive and get stuck. I'd rather just be in 4-wheel drive and keep moving. Slow down and back off that truck a little bit. playgrounds are frozen over. All the buildings are got snow on them. I really like looking at snow. I don't really like being in the snow. Like, I would have been okay if we got some snow like this during deer season. If I can sit in a warm blind, you're not gonna catch me sitting in a tree stand or on the ground in this stuff. But if I can get to where I'm warm and sit in it and watch, that would be really nice. But I don't want to be out in the snow. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, that you're too soft. It has nothing to do with that. When I was a kid, I was forced to be out in this stuff. We would have to hunt in it. Wouldn't matter how warm or how cold it was. I've been sitting on the side of a hill like what you're looking at here next to us on the left. Absolutely freezing. It's not running down your face and it freezing to your face, which is gross enough. And that was miserable. I wasn't allowed to leave because I was a kid, and the adult that was with us wouldn't let us leave. So now as an adult, if I get miserable, I just won't do it. I've driven all the way across here over into the woods to my hunting spot. Been in the woods an hour, decide I was too cold, and then leave. So I have no problem leaving the woods if I get cold. Now on the back side of this, we just went up the hill. Here in a minute I'll show you guys. There's only one place that you can camp in Kanawha State Forest. They have an actual campground. We'll see that here in a minute. It's actually down over to our right. You just can't see it from through the trees and the snow and on camera. I'm gonna sing y'all a little song. Someone sent me a video of a guy, and I thought I'd do my version of it. Old country roads, where'd you go? 'Cause all I see is a bunch of snow. Y'all can make fun of me in the comments for the way I sing. I know I'm terrible. But I don't mind. Yeah, so down over the hill is the campgrounds. I know there's a place, they have like hookups for RVs, like sewer and water. Because I don't know if they have a hookup for sewer. I know they have like water and stuff. I know they have a dump spot for sewer, because a friend of mine come down from Rhode Island a couple years ago and parked his camper in my yard. And then before he left, we took his wastewater over here and dumped it in their sewage disposal, or whatever you want to call it. Can you see the campgrounds?
Yeah.
There's probably not anybody down there camping.
Yeah, there's an RV.
Yeah, see, my kid can see RVs down over the hill. I just can't see them from where I'm sitting. And I got to pay attention to the road. Doesn't usually take me this long to get across through here. However, with somebody in front of me, my kid with me, and all this snow on the ground, I'm not going to push my luck. Try not to make the heat noise too loud, but my feet are cold. I'm not trying to get us freezing in here. I put the heat in the floor so hopefully the camera doesn't pick it up too much. See, that sign said campground entrance next right. So up here you can see where you turn. I wonder if it's where that truck's going. Acting like he's just stopping. So yeah, right here's where you go down to the campground if you were camping here. I don't know if y'all seen that little like metal chain basket on the side of the road. They have what's called disc golf out here, which is basically you play with a frisbee and you throw it at that thing. Where it's called golf, I'm assuming that each one has like so many shots to be on par. I've never played it. I don't know a whole lot about it. The road's getting a bit nastier. Good thing is it's not slick. At least it doesn't feel that way. In four-wheel drive, my truck hasn't slipped or slid yet. This is where the road narrows down to where, I don't want to say call it a one lane, but it's pretty much a one lane. So this is where it would be not ideal to pass somebody. The good news is we got somebody in front of us, so if we see them moving over, we know to get over. One thing I like about snow is it's really easy to see deer. If they're standing there, they stick out like a sore thumb. You gotta love West Virginia. Instead of fixing roads, a lot of times they'll just put up warning signs. Like that road caved in a couple years ago, and instead of fixing it, they just put those poles in the ground with signs warning you that the road's bad right there. You alright? Are you cold? Blanket's back there if you need it. Ooh. See, this is what I don't like or don't want. I'm gonna get over here for that car to go by. There is a couple wide spots like that across the mountain to get over for people. Typically, they're not covered in 6 inches of snow. These trees look pretty like this, although it breaks a bunch of stuff down. It's kind of why I'm going today, is I've got a tree that got knocked down across my road, and I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like driving across these roads in the winter like this. I'm not spinning or slipping, just it looked like he was, so I was slowing down a little bit because I'm not trying to get all up on that truck in this weather. My truck's a 2500 diesel, so it weighs almost 10,000 pounds, whereas can't tell if that's a 2500 or not. I believe it's not. I believe it's a 1500, and they're significantly lighter. I don't know if that makes a difference in the snow. I know my truck goes like a tank through snow, but when it comes to mud, he likes to sink up. Now this feels a little slick. Again, no problem, just you wouldn't want to bring a car or two-wheel drive truck around here. Oh, dropped you guys for a second. A little bit of technical difficulties. So right up here is like, I guess you call this like the parking spot for people that hunt. You can pretty much hunt most of the places unless there's a sign up that says it's a safe zone. I see a lot of guys park here. I guess this is the beginning of several trailheads where you can walk. That's where this guy's pulling into now. Guess they're playing in the snow. We are going down the back side of the mountain now. For the most part, I'm gonna put it down in second gear and just let the truck hold us back. I don't want to use my brakes too much in this stuff. Oh, we might have a problem here. We can get around it. I've got my small electric chainsaw for little stuff, but it won't cut big stuff. And there's where you leave the forest. There's the sign that says welcome to Kanawha State Forest. I imagine during the storm the other day, I imagine this road was treacherous. I mean, it's not the best road in the world right now. It's not the best road when there's not any snow on the ground. But I bet you when it was covered, because they haven't touched this, this is just people driving through here. This is a, right there where I told you the parking spot where hunters park, that's where the pavement ends, and all this is normally gravel or dirt. Somewhere up on the mountain there was a strip job. There was so back when we were talking about the pond, the fishing pond, there was a deal made. Oh, it's right there in front of us where they cut all the top of the mountain off. There was supposed to be a deal made to where they gave them permission to strip mine it, some of it, but they had to go through and dredge the pond out to clean all the sediment and stuff out of the pond. They did the strip job, and then they refused to do the dredging of the pond. It was a big mess. I mean, if you look, it's over here. It's not the actual forest. It was on the back side of the forest. There was a big bunch of political mess to get it done, and then they didn't end up cleaning the pond out like they were supposed to. So instead, they just spent a bunch of money tearing the dam down and then creating the stream. I liked it when the trout pond was there, not just a little stream, but what do I know? Suck to have somebody come flying up through here now. All that ice hanging off the rocks there. So right here down in this ditch, one day a couple months ago, there was a bunch of turkeys down in there. I come up the road. It was during turkey season. I could have got out and tried to get after them, but it was just a bunch of hens. Now, in West Virginia for fall season, you can take hens or gobblers, but I prefer, I have in the past, but I prefer not to take hens. I'd prefer to take a gobbler. We are almost out of, well, we've been out of the forest, but we're almost back to Route 94. So funny enough, like my first date with my wife, we went, I think it was up this holler here. Her brother and her grandfather used to live down here. We went for a 4-wheeler ride, and I think we went up this holler. So when we get down here in a minute, it splits and goes back towards that coal mine. We ended up way out in the middle of nowhere on a strip job, had to come back down the main highway. They had me on a 4-wheeler where you had to hold it all the way left just to go right, like the steering was all jacked up. It was like 10 degrees out. And that was like, well, no, I think that was our second date. So yeah, this is where we hit pavement again. And you'll see there'll be houses again and stuff right down here. It's funny when you drive along these roads in West Virginia, because you'll see like the best and the worst of West Virginia. You'll see like the average house, then you'll see something like a, you know, $500,000 house, then you'll see like a $1,500 trailer. Kind of cracks me up, and that's why I don't like editing these videos a whole lot, because I want people to see the good and the bad. Now there's nothing real bad over here. You know, I have no problems with somebody living in a trailer. A lot of times I'm envious because it's probably paid off and they don't have a whole lot of bills. Yeah, you'll see a little bit of everything coming down through here. It's a big power station where the power comes in over here. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but way up in the air, there's power lines that go across there. There's big balls that go, looks like a big beach ball that's on the net, or on the wire. And I've always been told it's so that any airplane stuff coming through here don't miss those power lines. I don't know why an airplane would ever be that low. I can understand a helicopter being that low in case it was, you know, health net or something like that. But supposedly the balls are there so that helicopters and airplanes can see that there's a power line so they don't run through it. Which makes sense. Just like I said, the thing that doesn't make sense is an airplane should not be that low. Alright guys, we're coming up to the end here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the video here. Some of you may see an extended video. Some of you may see this. I'm probably going to do individual videos for the different segments. So if you're watching this and it cuts off here, check the channel, because you'll see the next step of the road in the next video. But this road right here is Route 94. This goes from Marmet all the way over into Boone County, where it picks up on Route 3.